Fatherhood, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Trese, Wish Dragon. What's up? It's Tech, it's GVN. Roll it. Oh yeah, first and foremost, happy Father's Day from me and V6 to all my fellow fathers. I hope your day has been a good one and you got more than boxers as Father's Day gifts because, hey, we know how it goes sometimes. But hey, I'm here and I'm going to talk about this stuff that I talked about earlier. I'm starting off with fatherhood. So Fatherhood stars my man, Kevin Hart. And what's interesting is this. You know, when funny people do serious roles, when they do dramas, they tend to shine. Look at Robin Williams, look at Jim Carrey, right? So when I first saw the trailer, I was intrigued and I said, yeah, I'd like to see Kevin Hart play a serious role. And I'll say, he hits it out of the park most of the time. It had a couple of interesting things with the way the story went. If any one of you has seen, I think it's Jersey Girl, that's the one with Ben Affleck and J-Lo in it, where wife dies, man, job, single dad, raising. It has that kind of story, but in this particular case, it was inspired by a true story, right? And then we see that all of this is in the trailer, right? Stuff I'm about to talk about. So we see that he loses his wife, right? Just shortly after the baby's born. And oh yeah, funny thing is the wife is in Nigeria, and Deborah Ayorinde. I like it when I see Nigerians, Nigerians do stuff in foreign media. It's like, shout out to you, yeah, girl, I see you. So yeah, right now it's #1 trending on Netflix, and for good reason. It's a bit of a tearjerker at some point. It's because you can see Kevin Hart actually plays the role of a grieving husband and new dad. He doesn't know what to do. This is their first child. It's not like it's child number 2 or 3 that you'll say, okay, we've gone through this before. So you get to see him struggle. You get to see him stumble across along the way. How to raise this girl. Many people told him he could not do it, and maybe not because he was trying to prove them wrong, but just out of the shared love him and his late wife clearly had for their new baby, Maddie, I think that's her name. So out of the shared love that him and his late wife have for their newborn baby, you can see that he really wants to raise this child because she's his baby, right? And you see him do it, like he goes all out. In one of the scenes, which is in the trailer too, you see him take his daughter to work, just do a presentation while he's with his daughter, and you can see that these were things that were endearing about the movie to me. And of course, there were funny parts, right? Some of the jokes actually stuck, some of it were Also, hats off to Melanie Hurd. She plays Maddie, Kevin Hart's daughter in this movie, Kevin Hart's character, Matthew. She did a good job. Like, she really went into the character of girl without a mother and just a dad and just wants that connection. Because at the end of the day, as human beings, we just want that connection with our fellow humans. And yeah, she did well. But then overall, I can say that this is a movie that I'll definitely recommend. If you want to have a good time and you just want to smile and be happy, you will get to go through this journey with Kevin Hart and his baby girl. The bond that they try to create in order to actually have this family, this bond. And I enjoyed it, so it's one that I'll definitely recommend. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 8. It did the job that it was meant to do, which was show us the trials of fatherhood that Kevin Hart's character, Michael, went through. So yeah, that's Fatherhood. Watch it, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Moving on, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now, when I saw the trailer, when I even saw the title, I was intrigued by it because The Devil Made Me Do It. There are times when someone is caught cheating or someone is caught stealing or something. Here in Naija, you'll be like, na Satan cause am. It's the devil that made me do it. So I was intrigued to see how this story goes. And it follows the story of Ed and Lorraine. And it's loosely based on their life. So this was actually, because at the end of the movie, there was a tape that they played of the exorcism of the little boy that started this movie. So it actually did happen. This is my first Conjuring movie, funny enough. There were 2 parts before this one, and they said this is the weakest of the 3. And I enjoyed this movie. I really, really did like it. If I'm going to rate it right off the bat, I'll give it an 8. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, they did well in it, so it gets a nice 8 from me. And yeah, I think the reason why I normally stay away from genres like this is because when I hear horror, I'm like, it's just unnecessary blood for the sake of blood. Like the Saw series, I watched the first part, the second part. It started losing me around the 3rd, 4th, 5th part because it was just more about blood, less about the story. I was like, nah, this is not for me. But if I'm going to even mention it, I'll say this is more of a thriller than a horror flick. So it's one that I did enjoy watching. You know, it was fun to watch. And like I said from the beginning, the title itself was intriguing enough for me to want to give it a watch, because when you say you go to the court of law, right? You're meant to put one hand on the Bible and you put one hand up and you say, I promise that you put it on the Bible and you say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So if the court can admit that there is a God that exists and the Bible is one of the means he uses to actually reach out to his people, right? Reach out to his creation. So why can't you actually admit that there is a devil? And when someone says the devil made me do it, you actually see it as something plausible. You get so. It was interesting. I like the way the story went, the antagonist and the story behind the antagonist and all of that. It was rather interesting, and of course it had some jump scares. I mean, it wouldn't be that kind of a movie without it, right? And I would say this movie was good enough. They say it's the weakest, like I said earlier, but it was good enough to make me actually want to watch part 1 and part 2, which I'm going to do sometime during this week. Oh yeah, one interesting thing about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now I know it's a thriller horror movie, right? But there is one particular scene in the movie that I am not kidding, I am not exaggerating, will make you guys laugh. Like, honestly, while I was watching it, when that happened, I paused it to laugh. It was that funny. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, solid 8. I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. You guys should check it out. It's on HBO Max and also in cinema. So whichever one rocks your boat, move along. So moving on. Next on this list is also in that we are scary vibe, but this is an animation. Trese. I liked Trese. I would say, you remember Game of Thrones, right? Season 1. Oh my God. All the way till the final season, I was like, why? Like, honestly, if they had said Game of Thrones is still in production, blah, 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 we've never seen Game of Thrones having better. You know, as a piece of media, the beginning is very important. You hook people, right? The middle is the part where you are allowed to sort of fuck up, because the beginning was good enough to have people in and you will still have most of your audience. And then if your finale is a banger, you are a winner. But, you know, in the case of Game of Thrones, beginning was awesome. Oh my God. Middle, ending, why? And that's why most people would not recommend Game of Thrones. I won't recommend Game of Thrones to you unless you just want an end to something epic. But just hold on to the first, the first 7 seasons, but see that final season, forget it existed. Now the same thing happened with Trese. See, I liked Trese. So it's a horror, gory Filipino animation, right? But I liked the animation, I liked the story, I liked the character Trese and all the people around her, yes, bossing and all of that. I liked the world that they created. Everything was awesome for me till the final episode. So it's just 6 episodes, right? The final episode, it went down a bit because there was more talking, less action. Like I said, the way you end is important. An example is Castlevania. Castlevania, from the very first season till the finale, was just bonkers. It was awesome. Invincible, the very first episode, amazing. I mean, I know we still have two more seasons to go, at least so far at the time of recording this video. Who knows, maybe we'll have season 4 or 5. But then the first episode was awesome. Moving on to the finale, I mean, we know how the finale was. It was crazy. I did a separate video for that. I'll be dropping it later. It was amazing. It was awesome. So your end is equally as important as your beginning. So I feel Trese fell short there, but if I was still going to rate it, I'll give it a solid 7. Trese did well. I liked it. It's one that I'll say, watch it. Let me know what you think. If you have a different opinion about the ending, because V6 did something about it. It was a short 1-minute clip on Instagram, and he said yes, he would like to recommend it to you guys, and I agree with him on that. That ending though fell flat for me. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section below. Now moving on. So there's something, I don't know if you've noticed, but in every episode that we create, every episode I record, I try to make sure there's at least one thing I recommend that puts a smile on your face, that's aspirational. And this next one is something like that. I mean, we had Fatherhood to start with, right? Now this one is Wish Dragon. Wish Dragon, also released by Netflix. Now it's an animation and it's one you can watch with your kids compared to Trese that I mentioned earlier. It has a lot of fun stuff. So Wish Dragon, when I first saw it, honestly, I thought I'd skip it because it looked like a sort of genie ripoff. Just instead of the genie, it's the Wish Dragon. So it's more Chinese stuff, not say Western stuff, even though Aladdin is Arabian, but you get my gist. And that was my initial intention. But even though they have some similarities, they stop at a few points. For example, Aladdin, broke boy, rich girl, right? Same thing with Wish Dragon. Aladdin, 3 wishes, the genie. Same thing with Wish Dragon, 3 wishes, the dragon. There's one other similarity that is not readily coming to mind, but that's where it stops because in the case of the Wish Dragon, we have many more differences with this thing. And of course, you know, since it's Chinese, we get to see a lot of kung fu and butt-kicking action. Nothing violent, so it's something you can watch with the kids. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked the story. I liked the resolution. It did not feel too drawn out at any point. It was funny. I loved the character of Dane. It was very nice. Oh, funny enough, Constance Wu, Crazy Rich Asians, fresh off the boat. She's the mom in this animation. You get to see Donnie Chiang and a couple of other people voice also. The voice acting was superb. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. It's one that I would definitely recommend to you guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 8. Wish Dragon, good stuff, definitely recommended. And one thing I would also say before we end, because that's it for this episode, but one thing I also say is, I don't know, you know, I've never reviewed a Naija movie or animation on this channel. That's something I'd like to do. I mentioned Filipino earlier, Trese just mentioned Chinese Wish Dragon. I'd like to do that with Naija stuff. So if there's something that I'm yet to see that you guys think is actually awesome and you'd like to hear what we have to say about it, kindly recommend it in the comment section and I'll check it out. So I'll let you know what I think about it, because there isn't one yet that I am moved enough to say I want to watch and then recommend to you guys. So let us know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for this week's episode of Geek vs Nerd. If you liked it, thumbs, subs, #sharing is caring. It's been your boy Tech for Geek vs Nerd. Peace.